Number 1. Alexander the Great was born in 356 BC in a place called Pella, which was the capital of Macedonia. His father was King Philip II, and his mother was Queen Olympias. Number 2. He was taught by the famous philosopher Aristotle when he was a young boy. Aristotle taught him about science, philosophy, and warfare, which helped him become a great leader. Number 3. Alexander became king when he was only 20 years old after his father, King Philip II, was assassinated. Many people doubted him at first, but he quickly proved he was a strong leader. Number 4. He never lost a battle in his entire life, even though he fought many wars. His smart strategies and brave soldiers helped him win every time. Number 5. One of his first big battles was against the Persian Empire, which was one of the strongest empires at that time. He defeated them and took over their land. Number 6. He was known for treating the people he conquered with respect. Instead of destroying their cultures, he often adopted their customs and let them keep their traditions. Number 7. Alexander named more than 20 cities after himself. The most famous one is Alexandria in Egypt, which became an important city for learning and trade. Number 8. His army was small compared to the huge armies of his enemies, but he was able to win because of his smart battle plans. He used quick attacks and tricked his enemies to defeat them. Number 9. He was inspired by the Greek hero Achilles from the story of the Iliad. He even carried a copy of the Iliad with him on his campaigns. Number 10. One of his most famous battles was the Battle of Gaugamela in 331 BC. He defeated the Persian king Darius III and became the ruler of Persia. Number 11. After defeating Persia, he declared himself King of Asia. He now controlled one of the largest empires in history. Number 12. He wanted to blend Greek and Persian cultures together. He even dressed like a Persian and encouraged his soldiers to marry Persian women. Number 13. Alexander cut the Gordian knot, a legendary rope tied in a difficult knot. It was said that whoever untied it would rule all of Asia. Instead of untying it, he simply cut it with his sword. Number 14. He crossed the Hindu Kush Mountains, which was a dangerous journey, to conquer lands in India. His army faced harsh weather and tough terrain, but still succeeded. Number 15. His biggest battle in India was against King Porus at the Battle of the Hydaspes River. Even though Porus had giant war elephants, Alexander still won. Number 16. After winning in India, Alexander wanted to continue further, but his soldiers refused. They were tired after years of fighting and wanted to go home. Number 17. He respected his defeated enemies if they were brave and strong. After defeating King Porus, he let him continue ruling his kingdom. Number 18. Alexander's army traveled more than 20,000 miles during his campaigns. They marched through deserts, mountains, and rivers to expand his empire. Number 19. His empire was the largest the world had seen at that time, stretching from Greece to Egypt, Persia, and India. Number 20. Even though he was a conqueror, he also built many new cities. These cities helped spread Greek culture and learning. Number 21. He encouraged his soldiers and generals to marry women from the lands they conquered. This was part of his plan to unite different cultures. Number 22. Alexander loved learning and had scientists, historians, and philosophers travel with his army. They recorded everything they saw, which helped people learn about the lands he conquered. Number 23. He introduced Greek culture, art, and language to many parts of the world. This mixing of cultures is known as Hellenization. Number 24. He often fought alongside his men in battles, which made them respect and love him even more. He was always willing to risk his life with them. Number 25. He survived many injuries in battle, including being shot with an arrow and stabbed by a sword. Even though he was hurt, he kept fighting. Number 26. His favorite horse was named Bucephalus. He tamed the horse when he was a boy and they stayed together until the horse died. Number 27. When Bucephalus died, Alexander was so sad that he named a city after him, called Bucephala. Number 28. Alexander had a deep bond with his mother, Olympias. She believed he was special and even told him he was the son of Zeus, the king of the gods. Number 29. He believed he was a god, or at least chosen by the gods. This made his followers see him as someone more than just a king. Number 30. Even though he was a strong leader, he also had a temper. If someone betrayed him or made him angry, he could be very harsh. Number 31. He once killed his close friend Clitus in a fit of rage. He regretted it immediately and mourned his death. Number 32. His army used a special battle formation called the phalanx. It was a tight group of soldiers with long spears that made them very hard to defeat. Number 33. Alexander loved to drink wine, and sometimes he drank too much. This led to fights and arguments with his men. Number 34. He once walked through a desert for several days with no water, suffering alongside his men instead of taking water for himself. Number 35. He was one of the first rulers to see himself as a leader of many different people, not just one group. He wanted all his people to feel united. Number 36. Even though he conquered Persia, he adopted many Persian customs and even married a Persian princess named Roxana. Number 37. He wanted to make Babylon his new capital because it was in the center of his empire and had a great history. Number 38. In 323 BC, Alexander fell sick in Babylon and died at the young age of 32. The exact cause of his death is still a mystery. Number 39. Some believe he was poisoned, while others think he died from a disease like malaria or typhoid fever. Number 40. His body was placed in a golden coffin, and his tomb became a famous sight, but no one knows where it is today. Number 41. After his death, his empire fell apart because his generals fought over who should rule. Number 42. His generals divided his empire into several kingdoms, known as the Diadochi. They ruled different parts, but could never keep the empire united. Number 43. Even though his empire broke apart, his influence remained strong. Greek culture spread and influenced many places for centuries. Number 44. Many later leaders like Julius Caesar and Napoleon admired Alexander and wanted to be like him. Number 45. His military strategies are still studied today in military schools around the world. Number 46. Some cities he founded still exist today, like Alexandria in Egypt, which remains an important city. Number 47. Coins with his face were used for many years after his death, showing how much people respected him. Number 48. Stories and legends about Alexander were told in many different cultures, including Greek, Persian, and Indian. Number 49. Even though he was a conqueror, he also helped improve trade between different parts of the world. Number 50. His life inspired many books, movies, and TV shows about his incredible journey and achievements. Number 51. Alexander's empire helped spread new ideas in science, math, and philosophy across different regions. This exchange of knowledge led to many advancements. Number 52. He encouraged the study of medicine and had doctors travel with his army to treat wounded soldiers. Number 53. His army included people from different cultures, which was rare at that time. He wanted his empire to be a mix of many different people. Number 54. He built many roads and trade routes, making it easier for people to travel and trade across his vast empire. Number 55. He allowed people in his empire to practice their own religions and customs, which helped him gain their loyalty. Number 56. Alexander once visited the oracle of Amun in Egypt, where priests told him he was the son of a god. This made him even more confident in his destiny. Number 57. When he conquered Egypt, he was welcomed as a hero because the Egyptians did not like their Persian rulers. Number 58. He was crowned Pharaoh of Egypt and honored as a god by the Egyptian priests. Number 59. Alexander's general Ptolemy took control of Egypt after his death and started a new ruling dynasty called the Ptolemaic dynasty. Number 60. One of Alexander's most ambitious plans was to merge the East and West into one great empire with shared customs. Number 61. He introduced a new way of fighting using both Greek and Persian battle styles, making his army even stronger. Number 62. He loved books and built a massive library in Alexandria, Egypt, which later became one of the most famous libraries in history. Number 63. Some people believed Alexander was cursed because he had no clear heir to take over his empire after his death. Number 64. His best friend and general, Hephaestion, died before him. Alexander was heartbroken and mourned for days. Number 65. Alexander introduced Greek architecture to many parts of his empire, which influenced the way buildings were designed for centuries. Number 66. He used spies to gather information about his enemies before attacking them, giving him an advantage in battle. Number 67. His navy was not as strong as his army, but he still managed to defeat Persian ships and take control of important ports. Number 68. He encouraged education and brought Greek teachers to newly conquered lands to spread knowledge. Number 69. Some of his soldiers married local women and settled in the lands they conquered, helping Greek culture mix with other traditions. Number 70. The famous philosopher Diogenes once met Alexander. When Alexander asked if he wanted anything, Diogenes simply asked him to step out of the sunlight. Number 71. Alexander believed in leading by example, often marching at the front of his army instead of staying behind. Number 72. His army had many engineers who helped build bridges and siege weapons to conquer cities faster. Number 73. He faced harsh conditions in the deserts of Persia, where his army nearly died from thirst. Number 74. He tried to introduce Persian-style clothing to his Greek soldiers, but many of them refused to wear it. Number 75. Alexander founded cities as far east as modern-day Pakistan, showing how far he expanded his empire. Number 76. Many of his soldiers wanted to return home after years of fighting, but Alexander kept pushing forward until they refused to go any further. Number 77. He built large temples in honor of Greek gods in many of the cities he conquered. Number 78. The Romans later admired Alexander and considered him one of the greatest military leaders of all time. Number 79. His empire did not last long after his death, but his influence continued for centuries. Number 80. His dream of uniting the East and West never fully happened, but he helped connect different cultures. Number 81. His enemies often surrendered to him rather than fight because they knew he was nearly impossible to defeat. Number 82. He sometimes adopted the customs of the lands he conquered, which made some Greeks angry, as they thought he was abandoning his culture. Number 83. His generals sometimes disagreed with his decisions, but they remained loyal because they respected his leadership. Number 84. He once held a mass wedding where thousands of his soldiers married Persian women to unite the two cultures. Number 85. He ordered the burning of the Persian capital, Persepolis, but later regretted it, realizing it was a great cultural loss. Number 86. Many of his closest generals later became rivals and fought wars over his empire. Number 87. The Greek language became widely spoken in many of the lands he conquered, making communication easier between different cultures. Number 88. Some ancient stories say Alexander wanted to reach the end of the world and was always looking for new lands to conquer. Number 89. His army used war elephants in battles after seeing them in India, making them even more powerful. Number 90. He often spoke directly to his soldiers, inspiring them with his speeches before battles. Number 91. His leadership style was different from many other kings because he was always close to his men and shared in their struggles. Number 92. Even today, Alexander is studied as one of the greatest military minds in history. Number 93. He had no children that could take over his empire, which led to chaos after his death. Number 94. His influence helped shape the later kingdoms of Greece, Egypt, and Persia. Number 95. Some believe his death was caused by poison, but there is no solid proof. Number 96. His body was placed in Alexandria, but his tomb has never been found, making it one of history's greatest mysteries. Number 97. The term Hellenistic comes from his time, referring to the mix of Greek and Eastern cultures he created. Number 98. Some historians say he died of a fever, while others believe he may have been suffering from a long illness. Number 99. His conquests changed the world forever, shaping the cultures, languages, and governments of many countries. Number 100. Even after more than 2,000 years, Alexander the Great is still remembered as one of the most legendary leaders in history.